Welcome back to another episode of The Spirit Inside. Let's see how I want to start this. I'm doing another review of another La Catrina product. And the previous episode I did Classic Margarita mix and some quick programming notes, I guess. The previous episode on the other La Catrina product, I had that filmed and ready to go for a while, but then other projects got in the way and it just kind of sat there for a while. And so there's a big gap between that episode when I actually filmed it and this episode as I'm recording it. But the plan was always to do the Classic Margarita mix, review that, and then immediately go into the strawberry version here. There's just a bigger gap than I anticipated. But I eventually got to it and I got that other video out with the Classic Margarita mix. But one of the things when doing the edit and putting it out there, I figured I would tackle this version, this next product, the strawberry version, just a little bit differently. I did put an insert in that other video because after I spent a few extra days consuming the rest of the bottle, I ended up liking it a little better than I initially anticipated. So I think I come at it now with a better idea of how to judge this one. I kind of hint at it in another video that if you're comparing these products directly to like a margarita you would get at a restaurant or you could make at home, it doesn't compare well. I still stand by that because it just doesn't. But I don't think it's fair to compare it to regular margaritas. And then I went on and I kind of briefly touched on it also that it might be better to judge this based on like more casual kind of things like a wine cooler or a seltzers. I went into more depth but ended up cutting a lot of that out and putting the insert into it. So I still think that's kind of the idea, is that you don't judge this based on a margarita mix. And even as compared it to other products, it's a little bit tricky. Just to review real quick, because I'm not gonna go the full informational part about La Catrina, the brand. If you want that information, go to the previous episode with the Classic Margarita mix. Part of the reason why I'm not doing that again is because there really wasn't that much in the first place. It's a younger-ish brand and they don't have a whole lot of history. I thought maybe things might have changed a little bit, and some things have, but about as far as the main players in this company, it's the same people. We still have Saul Areola, he's the vineyard director. We have Andrea Zermeno, she's mainly involved from her bio, looks like with the wine side of it. And then we have Bob Stashak, the mixologist, and he seems to be more on the cocktail brand side of the brand. And just to do a real quick recap, La Catrina, they're out of Napa, California. My sense is, from what I could get from their website, is that they're mainly, or definitely started off more as a wine brand. Their whole theme is Day of the Dead, which is cool and interesting. And then later on, I suspect whenever Bob joined the team, because he's a little bit more enamored of like tequila culture, that's when they added a new category of cocktails. And when I did the last episode with just the Classic Margarita mix, their offerings were smaller than what they are now. It was basically just these margarita mixes in bottles, and I think pretty much it at the time. It has expanded. Besides margarita mixes, looks like they got a Paloma mix and a Mojito. And now instead of just bottles, they can also offer them in cans. So even though I wasn't in the end overly impressed with the margarita mix, it seems to have some fan base. And with that in mind, this is mostly just gonna be a review of the strawberry version here. It really is kind of on its own. It doesn't obviously go against head-to-head with regular margarita mixes, pre-mixed or made and on your own. I said people who like the hard seltzers and the wine coolers probably like this. That I still feel true, but it isn't really compared to those either. I think because they're, like I said, they're mainly a wine company, and that's why they call this a wine cocktail. They're using a lot of the information with their knowledge from wine, and then they're combining it, trying to combine it with just cocktails in a ready-to-serve fashion. But it makes it kind of unique because instead of directly coming from the ground up from other liquor companies, they're coming from the wine world because they're from Napa. So they got their own take on it, and that's cool. It's a bit of a learning curve, I think. Kind of like wine, or like some wines, you gotta let it breathe. That's what I learned with the Classic Margarita mix, and I suspect that's what's gonna be here, is that you don't just pop this open, pour it over ice, and just start drinking it. I mean, when I did that with the Classic Margarita mix, it just wasn't good. But as soon as I gave it like a minute or two to kind of breathe, I liked it better. The profile of it raised a little bit. And then after I stopped filming and I didn't throw away the bottle, I kept drinking it, I started getting into it a little bit more. That's the informational part of it. We're just gonna go and open this up. I have a better understanding of it now, so I think I can be a little bit fairer to it. I still think, even now, hopefully things go the way I think they are, is that the part where you have to open it and let it breathe is a trade-off, if not a downside or a negative, just because, you want to crack them with a beer or crack open even other bottles of wine or other products, you just open it and you go. Yeah, there are some other stuff you could open it and let it breathe, but not typically. But that's just the way this one works. We're just gonna accept that. So give me a minute here. I'm gonna get my one and only wine glass, and it says to pour over ice, I believe. Yep, pour over ice and enjoy. So let me get my one wine glass and some ice, and we'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I got my wine glass with ice in it. And I guess, to be fair, it doesn't have to be a wine glass. I just kind of assume that since it's a wine cocktail and it's a wine company, but I guess you could use whatever glass. I doubt that really matters too much. So start with the review, start with the look of it. Again, the bottle is unique. Like I said, they go with a Day of the Dead theme for all the branding. It's just the whole company. It's not just any one product, it's everything. I mean, either you're into that or you're not. You think the wines have this too, and you think wine is something classy or, kind of bougie or whatever. But they seem to be willing to just have more fun with it. And so I can appreciate that. I guess if you're at a wedding or some kind of fancy thing, you probably wouldn't pick one of their products, at least not have it displayed with this colorful Day of the Dead thing. But if you're doing something more casual or something more fun, that's fine. So they got that here. And yeah, it's fine. It's inoffensive. It is just what it is. Either you like Day of the Dead theme and this kind of illustration, cartoony illustration style. I'm not gonna say it's bad because they're obviously not trying to be fancy. They're trying to be fun. So I'm judging by what I think they're going for. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, this would be fun at a party, hey, I got wine. If you pick up one of the wine products, you got this. It's less serious, a little more casual. Perfectly good to screw twist off, so makes it easy to get into. See, I'll give that, just give them a perfect 5 because, they have a different goal of having fun. Yeah, I think it succeed in that. Smell, no. So with the Classic Margarita, out of the bottle, I just didn't like it at all. And then for some reason the cap was better. They just smell different. This is kind of the same way. I don't know why in the cap it smells a little bit different than from directly from the bottle. They do, but not as much as the Classic Margarita mix. But this one isn't offensive. It smells like strawberries, which is nice. So already that's a plus. Actually, you know what? It's not that nasty, well, sometimes, nasty or offensive kind of artificial bad candy strawberry. It actually smells like real strawberries. The look in the bottle, as far as the liquor itself, honestly, that's where I'm gonna have to ding it a little bit. I don't try to not think of anything negative, I just let it come naturally. But it kind of looks like a bad bathroom experience, you get what I'm saying? It's the strawberry, it's giving it some color, but it looks like something, unfortunately, it's sewer water, kind of looks like the color. But maybe that's just my bad imagination or where my mind's wandering. I'll try to be a little bit favorable to it, because I don't know how much they can do to control the outcome of the color in the bottle. It's not the most important thing anyways, but it reminds me of like something you find in your toilet. So I'm gonna have to give that a 2, unfortunately. And let's see, let's do the pour. Now, since it's not really a wine, I wonder if I can avoid all that wine etiquette and just fill the whole thing. But you know what? No, because remember this is very sugary, so I'll take it easy. This is like the total opposite of my experience with the Classic Margarita. When I first poured it out of the bottle of the Classic Margarita, the odor improved slightly because it was airing it out. Here, it goes down. But remember, we're gonna let it air for a little bit. So I'm not gonna sit here for a whole minute or whatever. We'll be cutting through this, but I'm gonna let this sit a little bit. I think that's fair to it. I think that's the idea. You don't just chug it after you open it. I'm back from letting the bottle and the glass kind of sit there. It's been more than a minute, maybe a little less than 2, but it's been a fair amount of time just so air can kind of aerate it and kind of disperse it. So I started off as a 5 straight out of the bottle, took a tumble when I poured it in the glass, but now it's had a chance to sit and breathe. So this is kind of the real, I guess, odor score we're gonna give it. Let me go back to the bottle real quick. Yeah, this unfortunately went down a little bit after sitting there, so, oh boy, let's see what we're getting to here. This is the important one though. Chris Nance here. No, it's weird. It's, as far as the odor and depending on which stage is it, the score for me yo-yos up and down and where you're breathing it out. This is mellowed out. It's not as, the very best it smelled is when I first opened it and smelled the bottle. It smelled like just pure natural strawberry and smelled with a little bit of alcohol content to it. It smelled nice. Letting it air out, for some reason that went down. It smells just more chemically now. This, when I first poured in the glass, was not good at all. It was like strong, burny, chemically alcohol taste, smell. Now it's just kind of mild. There's still the strawberry there, that natural strawberry smell, so that's working for it. It's very light and flowery. Barely any of the alcohol smell, especially the nasty kind. So I think I'm gonna settle on a 4.5, which is still pretty good. This is a small tumble from that initial 5 I gave it from out of the bottle, but definitely better than its Classic Margarita version. In the glass, it looks less offensive. Less like dirty butt water. And I don't know, I guess like kind of like juice. Like an apple juice kind of thing. It's fine. I think I'll give a final score as far as the liquor appearance, 3.5. Yeah, that's a respectable score. Okay, so we got taste, mouthfeel, and buzz. So, go for the taste. Oh. My first instinct is that I like this slightly more than the Classic Margarita mix. But there's something to me that feels off. It smells like natural strawberry, but the taste needs on more of that artificial candy-like strawberry flavor. So it's throwing my senses off. That's what it is. But it's not the worst artificial strawberry flavor. Taste, yeah, it's not bad. I think I do like this a little bit more than the Classic Margarita mix. Tastes a little bit more candy-ish though. But then again, okay, I said I was gonna be fair. I say it's Day of the Dead. It's a little more kitschy and fun. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if I was like at a picnic or something and somebody offered me this. I'll give the taste a 3.5 as well. Pretty respectable score. The mouth feel. This is, I think, better than the Margarita mix as well. It's very light, flavorful, no burn, obviously. Something like this. Well, maybe not so obviously, but to me, there's no burn. It's just, it goes down, it's really smooth. I think it's like a really fine, high quality juice. Yeah, I mean, it's not oily, it's nothing clinging to the glass. It goes down really smooth. It was a bit parched, and it's satisfying that dry feeling in my throat. Mouthfeel, I'm gonna give this a solid 4.5. It's actually very nice and refreshing. Definitely good for like an outdoor summer event at a picnic at a barbecue. Something not so over, classy like a traditional bottle of wine. Something a little bit more fun, but you don't want to just bring a case of beer or whatever. Yeah, not bad. Now the buzz. If it's anything like its Classic Margarita cousin, it does well in that it comes in really strong. You have to keep drinking it to maintain it because it also goes really quick. So it can give you a quick buzz, You just don't want to overdo it. And honestly, I'm already feeling it. I mean, it's one of those, just hits you real quick, immediately starts making your speech slur a little bit. I guess kind of been mentioning in some of the previous episodes that I've restarted since my little bit hiatus is that the score on the buzz is not so much a negative or positive where it falls on the scale. It's just kind of my opinion as far as the strength. It's weird because it is come on strong, but it dissipates really quick too. You have to really keep drinking and maintain it, and you don't really want to do that with something like this. You know, enjoy it, don't overdo it. But I guess I'll give it overall 4. I think that's what I gave the last one. I think it's the same thing. It's strong, but it doesn't sustain on the buzz factor part of it. So that could be good or bad depending on your drinking style. So I think overall that is a little bit fairer to La Catrina and their product here. That's gonna probably do it for me. You'll see the final score on there on the screen. But yeah, that's La Catrina. I'm still couldn't figure out any more information about the company. So if anyone from La Catrina or somebody just happens to know, can verify more information about the history and their background, I'd be interested. Like I said, it's a fine brand and a fine product here. I am actually interested in trying out not only these other cocktails they have, La Paloma and the Mojito, but since it seems like they're mainly a wine company, or at least that's how they got their start, I checked them out. I'm no wine expert by any means, but you know, I'm intrigued enough. But in the meantime, take care of yourself and enjoy the spirits responsibly.